Harvey, and I'm back with you again today to share another layout in my 2017 memory planner. As you can see right there is the monthly view for May, and I really had a lot of fun with this one, but it's going to be a whole lot more fun for this week in my memory planner. As you can see, I'm sharing with you the photos I've already printed using the Pick Frame app and my Canon Sulfie printer. I've pulled out a few of the Project Life cards from the Hip Kit Club May Project Life Kit, and I've also already pre-planned the dates of the photos. So like I printed them from the pre-planning, and now I'm going to simply trim those photos apart and place them on the days that they correspond to. Now the reason I like to do this first is just to make sure that I can fit all of the things on the layout. Now I know that sounds a little bit weird. However, if I did the planning first, I might not leave large enough spaces for the photos. And since the photos require a certain amount of space, I figure I'll go ahead and get those photos down, and then I can work around those with my activities and events. Now, as you can see this week, I did use one larger 3x4 photo, and I'm going to adhere all of these down using the Tombow Mono Adhesive. I love this tape roller. It doesn't get stuck. It moves really smoothly, and the adhesive is really sticky, which is important to me because I've been scrapbooking a very long time, and if I go back and I look at some of those really old layouts of mine, some of the items have fallen off the page into the bottom of the page protector, and I don't want that to happen here. Now, as you can see, I'm flipping through the sticker book, which is included in the kit, and it's got a whole lot of stickers, that really lend themselves super well to my planner. Now, they have an ever so slightly glossy finish, and to make sure they don't smear, I'm going to use the Tombow Mono Twin pen. It is a permanent pen, and one edge is a super fine tip, and then the other one is more of a marker tip. And they really are so easy for writing. I love them with my particular handwriting, and I have a lot of fun using them. Now, as you can see, I'm just going to continue to build. So I have this one cluster with a couple of photos, a couple of embellishments, a sticker for the activity, and then I'm going to just build upon that cluster, because ultimately I will also add these couple more of those label stickers from that Chamel sticker book to add some more activities for Tuesday. But then I'll also embellish a little bit further as well on this half of the layout. Now, as you can see, I'm using the Mono Twin pen again just to write the activities on those stickers. They're not truly glossy, but I'm just afraid of them smearing if I use a different pen on them, and I don't want that to happen. Now, I've pulled out the Studio L2E stamps, and I'm just going to use the one that has game at the top. They're a simple little quarter box stamp with words at the top, and they're really super handy because that's adding one less word that you don't have to write out yourself. So the word game is already there. So for myself, I could just write my son's initials and then the time as well. So I'm just using my Papermate Flair pen to do so and adding in those details right there. And then I have those activities already down, and it looks great and it works well and doesn't compete with any of those embellishments or elements from the kit. Now I already have my photos laid out, and so I'm just going to use the adhesive to adhere it all down and get it stuck there where I want them, so then I can go ahead and embellish and add the activities around that. Now I'm going to take the page out of my planner just so I have the cleanest, easiest surface to work on, nothing bumpy underneath, and then my hand isn't in the way of the discs either. Now, as you can see, I've pulled out a stamp from Sweet Stamp Shop, and I'm going to stamp that right there in the Thursday, the middle section. And I can use that for one activity for two different kids because there's plenty of room to write. Now, I'm using my beloved VersaFine ink, and a lot of you have left feedback that you're loving VersaMark too, and I'm so glad that you guys have used it and tried it, and it's working really well for you. I couldn't see myself using any other ink. Now, I'm sure there's lots of other great ones, so I don't want you to think that I don't think that, but I think that VersaFine just really works well. Now, as you can see, I have those two stamped elements in the Thursday afternoon box, and they work perfectly. There's still a little bit more room, and it doesn't feel cluttered or anything like that, which I'm super excited about. Now, as you can see, these are some Chamel die cuts that were included in the kit, and I'm just going through those seeing if I can find ones that would coordinate well with this particular layout, and maybe add a little bit here or there with the different little photos, like this little left one, or I'm sorry, it's not left, that's right, with the one in the lower right hand corner. Now I love that one with the bear that says remember. I think it's so cute, and then I end up finding that heart as well, and I think it's also very fun and sort of coordinates with the overall color palette as well. So I really want to use that bear. I'm just not quite sure how I'm going to do it until I sort of decide, well, maybe I could pair all of these together, layer them, and have them overlap. So I just add a little bit of adhesive to the die cuts, and then we have this little cluster in the lower right hand corner. Now these are the crate paper stamps, and I'm going to take these and use them with my block from Sweet Stamp Shop and my VersaFine ink to stamp out the words Frappuccino Friday. Now I do have it pulled up on my phone for reference just because I want to make sure that I don't screw up spelling Frappuccino, which is definitely a possibility if I don't give it all of my concentration. I have a tendency to sort of run away with myself or kind of get off topic while I'm not really concentrating. So I figured if I kept the spelling up on my phone, I would be able to not misspell it on this layout. Now for the word Frappuccino, I am staggering the alphabet letters, the alphabet stamps, so that it has that more playful look, but it's not necessary. You could absolutely line them up. It's just a little bit easier to do in the staggered fashion, and then, like I said, it adds that fun element since it's not linear, and I like that both things are accomplished here. Now I'm also going to line up underneath the word Friday, but I am going to do that in a more linear fashion. I'm going to do it straight across and use the bottom, the baseline, to line those alphabet letters up with each other. Now the VersaFine ink is working really well on these stamps. I actually didn't have any problem with the inks or with them maybe not getting a clear impression or anything like that, even though these are, or at least appear to be, an acrylic stamp, and so as opposed to the higher quality photopolymer. I apologize, I'm having a little bit of difficulty speaking today. I'm just getting over a cold, and so I'm sort of trying to get all back together and back in the swing of things as well. So I apologize for any misspeaking that I'm having today. Sheesh! Now as you can see today, the stamping is going quite well. Some days I just have a little bit of hiccups here and there, but I didn't really have too many problems here today, which is great, and I am actually thrilled with how this turned out. I think they look really good together, the two words, and the two different styles look great together as well. Now that I have those down, I can complete the rest of the layout since I got that finished and it looks exactly how I had hoped. And I'm going to use one sticker and then also layer another one, and it'll also coincide with that cluster that I already created down in the lower right hand corner. And it's just some more of those Chamel stickers, so I'm using the Tombow Twin pen again, and it really works out well because I like writing with this pen and then I don't have to worry about any smearing as well. Now the last thing that I really need to do is add an event on Sunday. So I'm just taking one of those die cuts and using the adhesive on there just to write the details of it, and then the planning here is done. And I feel really good about it because I feel like it all really coordinates, but it's not too overly matchy-matchy. Now I want to see what I can do in terms of this one activity I forgot to write on Friday, and what I decided to do was just go ahead and write it out and not have any stamps or stickers to notate, because it was a-okay, you know. It's that one simple little element in the middle of all of these stickers and stamps and all of those different things. Now as you can see, I've placed both sides of the layout together, and I want to see where I can add a little bit of more decoration. So I want to use some of these 3x4 cards and some of the really pretty elements that there are. So I'm just going to trim them down to fit. It's almost 2 inches wide by 3 inches tall. And they just help sort of balance out the rest of the page. And I could have absolutely left it without using the cards. I feel like the page definitely looked okay without them. But I also love the added interest that adding, I just can't even speak today, I'm so sorry guys, that adhering those little cards down has. Now I'm going through the exclusive wood veneer words, and I know that I really kind of want that flourish. I want that little added extra bit there, but I have to decide which word will work with this particular layout and where I could possibly use it. Now I'm going to use these watercolors. They're from Prima, and I am absolutely positively loving them. This is the Tropical collection, and I love the colors. I will link up in the comments below. It's just, they're really saturated and beautiful. And then I'm using this water brush pen to apply the watercolor to this paper. Now you can also see that I'm able to, because it's a brush pen, I'm also able to do a little bit of my brush lettering. Isn't that fun? I love it with the watercolor effect because the watercolors don't give a solid color. You have the doppling and the lighter and darker elements, and I just absolutely love it. So I'm doing the cursive with this green color, which is just so pretty and really coordinates well. And then I'm going to add a couple of letters in my regular handwriting down below, and I'm going to use the bright pink, and I just absolutely love it. It turns out really well and makes me excited to add more watercoloring in my planner in the future, just because it looks so incredibly pretty. Now I'm just filling in some of the little areas that maybe I feel like could use a little tiny bit more color, and just sort of evening some of it out, even though it's absolutely not necessary, because it really is very beautiful just how it is. And I love what that brings to this particular layout. It just adds a little bit of dimension, and it makes it really pretty, and just adds a little bit of whimsy as well, because the rest of the page ends up being fairly linear and straightforward, but the watercolors really make it super beautiful. And that color of pink, I love it. It's gorgeous. Because I was so excited about that color of pink, I just kept thinking of how else I could use it. So while I'm figuring out these wood veneers, I'm also thinking about the watercolors and that color of pink, and how can I incorporate that over on the right-hand side. And I knew I was still going to add a couple of journaling lines just to write ever so slightly a little bit about the Frappuccino Friday. So I decided, you know what, why not use the watercolor brush and the watercolors to make my journaling lines? It's totally unheard of for me, but why not give it a try? If I don't like it, I don't have to do it again in the future. So that's what I'm doing right here, is just using the watercolor for my journaling lines, and it's awesome. Now I have my pen out, and so I'm just going to color in some of the insides of the alphas, add some journaling, and I'm all set. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comment box below, and I will do my very best to get back to you. Thank you so much, and make it a great day.